Yo, what is going on, guys? And welcome back to 365 Analytics. And today it is Thursday afternoon. As usual, we are here on the channel 365 Analytics picking our weekly NFL games in what's been a pretty crazy season across the National Football League so far. I have no idea who's good. I have no idea who's not good. And it's been a very roller coaster season so far across the National Football League. I'm not going to yap too much. If you guys do enjoy today's video, please like, subscribe, turn on post notifications for more content exactly like this one. We have a 365 recap weekly on the channel on Tuesday nights, and we have our weekly NFL game picks during the NFL season weekly on Thursday afternoons, as we do right now. But without further ado, I'm not going to yap any longer. Let's get right into the picks. Let's talk about some business from last week first. Last week our record was 9-6, not very good, pretty average. Went 0-2 on the Monday Night Football doubleheader, lost both those games with my Bills picks, and I picked Washington. Both ended up losing. I think it's the second straight Monday Night Football doubleheader that I went 0-2 in, so not very good. And that brings our overall record to 54, 38, and 1 on the season. I've seen a lot of people around sports media with similar records, but I mean, it's still not very good, and it's pretty average. I mean, we need to do better. We need to have that week where we really grasp and have a great week. So I'm hoping it's this one. And we are 6-0 on my lock of the week and 2-4 on my upset of the week, coming off the upset loss and coming off a lock win, obviously, as we are undefeated in that category. And let's try to keep that going. But without further ado, let's get right into this. And we have a big Thursday night football game, ladies and gentlemen, a game I will be in attendance tomorrow night, White Bengal at Paycor Stadium. It's the Icy Hot Bowl. It is Aaron Rodgers versus Joe Flacco, as it is the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Cincinnati Bengals on Thursday Night Football. The Steelers, they're coming off a win last weekend against Dylan Gabriel. The Cleveland Browns defense played very well. Steelers offense didn't really go above and beyond, but they did their thing. They did enough. They weren't electric, but they did enough to get the win against the Cleveland Browns at Acrisure Stadium, and they go to 4-1 on the season in your division leader right now. As for the Cincinnati Bengals, they are suffering 4 straight losses. It's been bad without Joe Burrow right now, but I'm not going to lie. Joe Flacco showed me a lot of optimism last week. 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, which is what I like to see in his first start as Cincinnati Bengal. Jamar Chase made plays last week. Joe Flacco was finding receivers. Offensive line was decent, but it was a tale of two halves for the Cincinnati Bengals. Obviously, in the first half, the offense was very sluggish. No one could get anything going. Looked like they weren't really opening up the playbook, and the defense was playing very well in the first half. In the second half, the offense came out firing. Joe Flacco was nails, but the defense didn't do their thing. Josh Jacobs ran through us, and evidently, Packers got the win in a pretty, not really close game, but not a blowout either. And a game I'm going to be in attendance for, and a game that is a pivotal swing game in the AFC North. If the Cincinnati Bengals win this game, switch flipped. We are very much in the race for the AFC North, especially. We'll only be 1 win behind the Pittsburgh Steelers at that point. But if we lose, pretty much call the season over. I'd start shopping Trey Hendrickson, I'd start shopping Logan Wilson, and so on and so forth. But in a game I'm going to be in attendance for, you know who I'm taking. White Bengal night at Paycor Stadium. I'm not picking against the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm not. I've only picked against them once this season in the Detroit Lions game, and I'm not picking against them now. It's not happening. This is a must-win game, obviously. You lose this game, go 2-5, your season is over. Might as well kiss the chances of Joe Burrow returning in December goodbye if you don't win this game. This is a big game for Zach Taylor's job security. It's a big game for Joe Flacco. It's a big game for the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm pumped for tomorrow night. Or I'm recording this on Wednesday night, obviously, but I'm pumped for tomorrow night, and I'm very excited. Yeah, I'm picking the Bengals, obviously. Everyone know where I was going with that. In our last London game of the 2025 NFL season, not our last international game, but it is our last London game. It is the Los Angeles Rams versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Rams, they're coming off a win versus the Baltimore Ravens in a pretty defensive slobber knocker, a 17-3 win. The Rams, they did a good job shutting down Cooper Rush. They did a good job shutting down the Baltimore Ravens in general. Derrick Henry had a decent game, but in the end, Zay Flowers had 2 fumbles. It was not enough for them to beat the Rams, as the Rams got a rebound win. coming off the loss versus San Francisco a few weeks ago. As for the Jaguars, they're also coming off a loss. They were previously 4-1. The Seattle Seahawks, Jackson Smith and Jigba, crazy game against them. I mean, Trevor Lawrence didn't play very well. They had some costly turnovers. The run game was just not getting going. Brian Thomas Jr. did have his best game of the season last week, but it wasn't enough. Seattle ended up winning, and Seattle went to 4-2, while Jacksonville fell to 4-2. Another key storyline, the Los Angeles Rams will likely be without Puka Nacua. He did not practice today, went out last game with an injury, ended up coming back, but it was pretty much a non-factor when he came back. And it looks like Devontae Adams might be the number one receiver this week for Matthew Stafford. Nonetheless, I'm taking the Los Angeles Rams to win this game. I think they're going to go to 5-2 here. I've always had a philosophy, if you watch my pick'ems last year when the Jags went to London, I've always said I try not to pick against the Jacksonville Jaguars in London. I really try not to. But in this scenario, I think the Jaguars are riding the high of all highs right now. They're 4-2. They're exceeding expectations with Liam Cohen already. I expect the Rams to come in here and kind of simmer down that fire a little bit, give the Jacksonville Jaguars their second straight loss, and I think the Jaguars will be fine. After this game, if the Rams win, there might be some storylines where were the Jags frauds? Was that 4-1 start fraudulent? I don't think so. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars will be fine. I believe in Liam Cohen. I believe in Trevor Lawrence, and I believe in the Jags in general. But in this game, I just like the Rams. I think Matthew Stafford's going to have a very good game. I think Devontae Adams has to show up. Jordan Whittington needs to get involved. Guys like that. Tutu Atwell needs to play well. And I think the Rams evidently will end up getting the win overseas. So that is your last game of the NFL London series. We take a few week break from the international games, and I think we go to Germany in a few weeks. So that should be interesting. Starting off the 1 p.m. Sunday slate this weekend in the NFL, it is an NFC matchup between the New Orleans Saints and the Chicago Bears. The Saints, they're coming off a loss to the New England Patriots last week. Spencer Rattler was okay. I mean, they didn't play necessarily bad, but Drake made us play better. Drake made piece their defense apart. I mean, made a bunch of good throws, have a 3 touchdown game, and probably Drake May's best game, if not one of his best games of his career so far in a season that he's playing very, very well. We'll talk about more about New England in a few minutes, but the Saints, they're 1-5 right now, but I got to give them credit. I thought they were going to be non-competitive in these games. They are very, very competitive. They've been competitive with teams like the Bills, the Patriots. I mean, they've been competitive. As for the Bears, they are coming off a win on this past Monday night versus the Washington Commanders. As I said in the 365 recap on Tuesday, Bill Krosky-Merritt fumbled once. Jane Daniels had a costly fumble in the end, ended up setting up Jake Moody for field goal range in the end, so he kicked the game winner. Jane Daniels had a bad interception in the first half, and Chicago got revenge for the fail Mary last year in Landover. I think the Bears are playing well right now. Caleb Williams is playing all right. DeAndre Swift had one of his best games of his career this past Monday. I'm taking the Bears to go 4-2. They're coming off well rested off the bye a few weeks ago, coming off a win versus Washington. And I think they're getting some momentum strung together here. I mean, Ben Johnson's team starting to play very good. They had an 0-2 start. Detroit dropped 52 on them week 2. Minnesota ended up coming from behind on the Monday Night Football opener. Since then, the Bears have shown some life, and I think this will be the fourth straight win as they pick up this win in Soldier Field. So I'm going to take the Bears here at home and pretty handedly versus the New Orleans Saints. So yeah, give me Chicago. Next up, it is a battle between 1 and 5 teams in the AFC. It is the Miami Dolphins taking on the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. The Dolphins, they're coming off a loss where they kind of blew at the end versus the Los Angeles Chargers. Justin Herbert rolled out of the pocket, made a play, evaded some tacklers, found Lad McConkey, and it was all Lad McConkey from there. Got the Chargers in field goal range, and from there was zero chance that Cameron Dicker was missing the game-winning field goal. I mean, Darren Waller caught a come from behind touchdown to give the Dolphins the lead in the fourth quarter, and they blew it. They flat out blew it. I'm disappointed in the Dolphins as I picked them last week, and it's looking bad in Miami right now. Mike McDaniel, only a matter of weeks before his job he ends up kicking the curb, and he's on the chopping block, and there's rumors about them shopping Jalen Waddle. There's rumors about Devon Achane being shopped, and rumors about Jalen Phillips being shopped, and it's just not looking good in South Beach right now. As for the Browns, they're also 1-5. They're coming off a pretty sluggish offensive performance versus the Pittsburgh Steelers last week. Dylan Gabriel didn't play that well. And the Browns keep losing. I expect Shedeur Sanders to get his chance in a few weeks, and the people will salivate. The Shador Sanders fans will salivate, but I expect him to get a chance in a few weeks. In all seriousness, um, I'm not gonna lie. This is my toss-up of the week. I have really no chance. I have no chance. I have no clue who's going to win this game in the AFC. I like the Cleveland's defense. I think Myles Garrett, obviously one of the best players in the entire league. Cleveland's defense can do a lot of good things, but I think Miami's offense is far, far ahead of Cleveland's defense. For that reason, not Cleveland's defense. I think Miami's offense is far, far ahead of Cleveland's offense, and for that reason, I'm going to take the Miami Dolphins to win this. I really hate picking the Dolphins. I picked them the last few weeks, and they've lost every single time. They blew a lead versus Carolina a few weeks ago. They blew it again versus the Chargers last week. And quite literally, I'm going to take the Dolphins here. This might be the last time I take them this year. I just think they're the better team than Cleveland. I think they're the better offense. And in the end, I don't think they blow this one. I think it's enough for them to win. But in all seriousness, I have zero clues on win this game. Battle of 1 and 5 teams. It'll be very interesting nonetheless. Next up, we have the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Kansas City Chiefs in an AFC West matchup in Arrowhead Stadium. The Raiders, they're coming off their second win of the season, their first win since week number 1, where they took down the Tennessee Titans in Allegiant Stadium. Geno Smith did nothing really special. It was nothing really special across the board for the Raiders. They just looked like the better team for 4 quarters. And Brock Bowers still hasn't been on the field. I don't expect him to play again this week. Him and Jacoby Myers also did not practice this week. I expect Jacoby Myers to be another guy who's on the trading block coming up on November's trade deadline. But yeah, they're 2-4. The Chiefs, they're 3-3. They're now at 500. A team that everybody is like, uh-oh, they're back. They're coming off a Sunday Night Football win versus the Detroit Lions, where Patrick Mahomes played well. He's one of the top 3, top 2 in the MVP conversation right now, and there's no doubt about it. He's playing some of the best football of his career, and that's crazy to say because he's already one of the best quarterbacks of all time. Um, In other news, they're getting Rashee Rice back this week. Their number 1 wide receiver coming off the 6-game suspension. He is back in Arrowhead Stadium this week, and it will be big for Patrick Mahomes to get a guy like that back. So now you got Rashee Rice back. You got Xavier Worthy back healthy. You got Travis Kelce there still. So the Chiefs aren't going anywhere. They'll be back. They're back, and they're favored in every single remaining game that they have on their schedule, which is pretty crazy to say. But I'm going to take Kansas City here. I do think this game will be a little bit closer than people anticipate. The Chargers, not the Chargers, the Raiders always seem to play Kansas City close for me. Like they beat them on Christmas a few years ago. Went toe to toe with them on Black Friday last year. So the Raiders always play them tough. The Chiefs play their 3 division opponents very, very tough every single time. I expect it to be a close game, but in the end, Arrowhead Stadium, I expect Patrick Mahomes to get this win and go to 4-3. So yeah, give me Kansas City to get the win there. And then we have an NFC matchup on Fox on Sunday. It is the Philadelphia Eagles at the Minnesota Vikings. The Eagles, they're coming off a little bit of a mini bye week and 2 straight losses. They lost to Denver a few weeks back, 2 weeks ago this Sunday, and they lost to Jackson Dart and the Giants. Last Thursday, Cam Scatterboo ran all over them, 3 touchdowns for Cam Scatterboo. And the defending Super Bowl champions are reeling a little bit. Jalen Hurts is not playing great football this year. He's not passing the ball well. A.J. Brown's not getting involved enough. Jalen Hurts missed a wide open Devontae Smith last Thursday. He was getting a lot of criticism for that, but in the end, the Giants played better than them for 4 quarters, and they ended up getting the win. Saquon Barkley still hasn't gotten going this year, so there's a lot of problems in Philadelphia right now, even after the 4-0 start they had. As for Minnesota, they're coming off well rested off the bye week. The last time we saw them, they beat the Cleveland Browns. This week, there's some uncertainty. Will it be Carson Wentz? Will it be J.J. McCarthy? Either way, I think the champs are going to rally. They're coming off a mini bye. I just think they're the better team here. I was a big believer in Minnesota coming into the season. I'm not going to shy away from that. I was a big believer in J.J. McCarthy, Kevin O'Connell, and the Vikings. What I've seen from them, they were literally neck and neck with the Cleveland Browns a few weeks ago. They lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers previously. So I like the champs to come off a little bit of a mini bye, rebound here, play better. I expect Saquon to play better. I expect A.J. Brown to play better. I expect Jalen Hurts to play better. And I think this is one the Eagles need for the morale. And if they don't get it, it's going to get real loud. It's Kevin Patullo. He has not been good so far as an offensive coordinator for them. So It's gonna get real loud if they don't win this one, but I think they're gonna rebound here and get this win. So give me the Eagles here on the road. Next up, it is Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers taking on the New York Jets with Justin Fields at MetLife Stadium. The Panthers, they are at 500 with that 3-3 record. They are 0-3 on the road, 3-0 at home. Pretty crazy to say through 6 weeks, but Rico Dowdle, two straight 200-yard games from scrimmage these past 2 weeks, and he is balling. Chuba Hubbard might also be back in the fold this week. They're getting Jalen Coker, who last year, as a rookie, produced with Bryce Young, had some chemistry. Bryce Young played pretty well in some of the games, and they're getting him back. So another weapon for Bryce Young to work with alongside Ted McMillan, Xavier Legette, and crew. Carolina's defense, although did not play very well against Dallas, Dak Prescott, as usual, as he has all season pretty much, played very well. George Pickens tore him apart, and yeah, their defense didn't play very well. As for the Jets, this is the game right here. This is the one. I feel like this is the one the Jets have to come to play for, as everybody knows they're the last winless team in the NFL. Aaron Glenn is committed with Justin Fields. Not expecting to see Garrett Wilson in this game. He's not playing for a few weeks. It just won't be good, man. I expect Mason Taylor to have a big game here. I think he'll play very, very well. But I'm liking what I'm seeing from Rico Dowdle and the Carolina Panthers offense right now. They're firing on all cylinders. Bryce Young's playing some good football. He's getting confidence. So I'm going to take Carolina to go above 500 here. I think this is a game that they can just grab. And they're the far better team than the Jets right now, even with their defensive struggles. So give me Carolina here to go to 4-3 on the season. Next up, we have an AFC matchup from Nashville, as it is the New England Patriots taking on the Tennessee Titans. The Patriots, they're 4-2. They've won three in a row. Drake May's playing some great football. The whole region of New England right now is ecstatic with the way their Patriots are playing right now. Buffalo Bills now second in the division. They've suffered two straight losses. They are on the bye this week, but New England Patriots are your AFC East leaders as of right now. Who knows how long that lasts, but that's what it is right now. They're traveling to Tennessee, which the big story out of Tennessee this week was Brian Callahan has been canned, as has Bill Callahan, the offensive line coach. That kind of just went hand in hand with his son getting fired, but interim head coach Mike McCoy, former head coach of the San Diego Chargers, is taking over as the interim. And this game's in Nashville. It's Mike Vrabel's return, obviously, versus his former team. The Patriots are firing right now. Every single person and their mother and their grandmother and their dog are taking the New England Patriots to win this game. Obviously, the Tennessee Titans are big underdogs. On the 365 Analytics channel, we take big swings. I'm taking the Tennessee Titans to win this game. And my reasoning, other than one factor, I don't really have any reasoning other than one factor. My pick season has been lit up in flames already anyway. I'm not doing that very, very well in my picks, but I always believe that there is a spark in locker rooms when interim head coaches come take over. Jeff Simmons in his press conference this week in the locker room, the Titans locker room, said, we arguably had our worst week of practice we've ever had under Brian Callahan. They ended up getting smacked around by the Las Vegas Raiders this past week. I'm taking Mike McCoy. I'm taking the Tennessee Titans at home. And a little bit of a shocker with the way Drake May's playing right now, but I think that interim head coaches bring a spark. That's my only reasoning. I could be very wrong. I'm probably gonna be very wrong. But what I do here is I take big swings and I make some crazy picks sometimes, and sometimes they work. More times than not, they don't work. But we take big swings here. We're gonna take Tennessee Titans to win this weekend, and with a big, big upset. I need a drink of water after that one. Jesus. Next up, we go to the 4 o'clock window on Sunday, where we have a little bit of an interesting one here in Colorado. It is the New York Giants at the Denver Broncos. The Giants, everybody's hyped about the Giants right now. Brian Daboll. Jackson Dart is playing great football. He's looking like the Giants' future through a few games now. Cam Scatterbo, 3 rushing touchdowns last week. Obviously, he's playing great. And the Giants are fun right now. I know that sounds crazy to say based on the way the last few years have went for the Giants, other than that one off year in 22 where they went to the playoffs. Hasn't looked very fun in New York, but they're looking fun right now. As for the Broncos, they've won 3 games in a row, but it was very ugly last week. I'm not going to shy away from that. Nobody else is going to shy away from that. It was very, very ugly in the London game with the Broncos and the Jets last week. The Broncos stuck past the Jets 13-11 in a very defensive game. Broncos offense could not get anything going. Jets offense could not get anything going. Um, it wasn't great. One probably the most boring standalone game so far this season. This one, I'm taking Denver. I think this will be a very competitive game. But I think the team that's fighting for more, they see Kansas City on their coattail right now. They see the Los Angeles Chargers on their coattail. AFC West is very, very competitive with the Chiefs and Chargers, right with the Denver Broncos. Sorry, Raiders fans. But I think this is a game where Denver's a better team here. They're at home. I think gives them a big boost. I think Bo Nix needs that go get it performance. I think the Giants will be competitive with the morale they're playing with, the hype they're playing with, and how excited everybody is about them. But I'm gonna take Denver here. I think they're going to 5-2, and I think Sean Payton's gonna get his 4th win in a row. And yeah, they're gonna beat the Giants. Next up, we have an AFC matchup. In this one, if you told me it would be of this magnitude on September 7th when we were kicking off our week 1, I would call you insane. We have the 5-1 AFC South leading Indianapolis Colts led by Daniel Jones taking on the 4-2 Los Angeles Chargers led by Justin Herbert and John Harbaugh. I mean, a pivotal game in the AFC right now. 5-1, 4-2 in SoFi Stadium. This is a tough one to pick. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really liking what I'm seeing at the Colts right now. I was a big, big doubter on the Indianapolis Colts going into the year. I thought that picking Daniel Jones over Anthony Richardson was a joke of a decision. But Shane Steichen looks like Albert Einstein right now with the way he's running that offense. I mean, Lou Anarumo, former Bengals defensive coordinator, I know him well, is doing amazing with the Indianapolis Colts defense right now. I mean, they are playing well. As for the Chargers, they're 4-2. They started the season 3-0, suffered a few losses in a row. I'm not really liking what I'm seeing out of them from the past few weeks. Obviously, Miami went toe to toe with them this past weekend. Um, Miami, if it wasn't for Justin Herbert making a damn good play, the Los Angeles Chargers 3-3 right now, suffering 3 losses in a row coming into this game. So I can't believe I'm saying this on the road in SoFi Stadium, but I'm taking the Indianapolis Colts and Daniel Jones starts 6-0. Wowza. That feels insane to say out of my mouth, but I think the AFC leading Colts continue their run. I mean, this team might be for real. This team might be for real. Shane Steichen is doing a fabulous job. He's clearly the front runner for Coach of the Year right now in the AFC or in the NFL in general. So I'm going to take the Colts here to go to 6-1 and to beat the Los Angeles Chargers. Next up, we have a matchup in the NFC as it is the Green Bay Packers taking on the Arizona Cardinals. The Packers, they're sitting at 3-1-1 right now, coming off the win versus Cincinnati Bengals 27-18. Josh Jacobs was great, ran right through the Bengals defense, breaking tackles. He played amazing. Jordan Love, nothing spectacular, but he made some plays in the end on that 3rd down where the Bengals would stop them, got the ball back. If the Bengals stopped them there, they might win the game. That's the bottom line. They might win the game. They stopped them there, but Jordan Love made a play. That's the bottom line. He was good in the game. Did throw a costly interception on the first drive, but the Bengals did nothing with it. So yeah, that's that. And they're taking on the Arizona Cardinals, who are coming off a loss versus these Indianapolis Colts, obviously, or actually. And they're 2-4 right now. Jonathan Gannon suffering a few losses in a row. The Arizona Cardinals started 2-0. Now they're 2-4. I'll tell you what, I was wrong about the Cardinals in the preseason. This is the time of year where I started to accept I was just wrong. I was wrong. I'm not liking what I'm seeing out of the Cardinals. I think obviously they had Jacoby Brissett last week, and he had a better performance than Kyler Murray had all season. So we'll see if it's Kyler Murray or Jacoby Brissett this week. Either way, I'm taking Green Bay here. They are the better team. Um, they're the better offense. They're the better defense. They have the better pass rush. And I'm not confident in what I've been seeing lately from Bears and the Cardinals enough to pick them in a game like this. So yeah, give me the Green Bay Packers here to get a win on the road in Glendale and go to 4-1-1 on the season. Next up, we have America's Game of the Week on Fox. It's a good old school NFC East rivalry in Arlington, as it is the Washington Commanders taking on the Dallas Cowboys. The Commanders, they're coming off a loss this past Monday against the Chicago Bears. As I said when the Bears preview, Jane Daniels' costly fumble on the handoff to Bill Krosky. Mario was a wet ball and he just lost it. So the Commanders, they go to 500 again. They're 3-3. Um, I don't know. I'm not liking what I'm seeing from them. I think Bill Krosky Merritt needs to play better. He needs to have better security on the ball. He has two fumbles in 2 games now, and I think he's a big piece of their offense. Obviously, still no Terry McLaurin. I don't expect him to play again this week. Noah Brown just went to IR, so they're dealing with some injuries themselves, but they're 3-3 right now. That's the bottom line. As for the Dallas Cowboys, they're 2-3-1 now. Coming off the loss versus the Carolina Panthers, Rico Dowdle, former Dallas Cowboy, said buckle up, and he delivered. The Dallas Cowboys did not buckle up. They lost to the Carolina Panthers. Carolina's offense was great. The Dallas Cowboys are right in the argument right there for the worst defense in the National Football League right now. It's basically them and the Baltimore Ravens. Their defense is not playing well right now. Matt Eberflus will be definitely be one and done if it keeps going like this. Dak Prescott is playing hero ball right now, though. He's playing so well. Javonte Williams is having a rejuvenated season in Dallas since the years he had in Denver. I mean, George Pickens is playing well. This guy's making plays. Ryan Flournoy is making plays. I'm actually going to take Dallas. I'm going to take Dallas. Preseason, I said I believe that Washington, I think they're a good team. I do think they're a good team. I picked them to go 10-7, 11-6, I think, but I was never really like that confident in Washington to repeat what they did last season. I don't think they'll be an NFC Championship team again. I think they'll be a playoff team probably. I think they'll still sneak in there, but I'm not liking what I'm seeing from out of them lately. Even with the loss, I mean the win they had versus the Chargers a few weeks ago. So give me the Dallas Cowboys to get the win here and go back to 500 after the loss last week versus Carolina. And I think Dak Prescott has a stellar game. I expect George Pickens to keep doing what he's doing, and I think Dallas gets the win at AT&T Stadium here, and they go back to 500. And then on Sunday Night Football, it's a pretty good game. It's a pretty good game nonetheless. It is the Atlanta Falcons and the San Francisco 49ers. The Falcons, they're coming off a few wins in a row now. They just beat the Buffalo Bills, a big, big win in Atlanta on Monday Night Football against what pretty much everybody said was the best team in the AFC. So they're sitting at 3-2 right now. Bijan Robinson looking like one of the best players in the league. Through a few weeks, he's an Offensive Player of the Year candidate through 6 weeks that he's playing that well. In the 1-2 punch with him and Tyler Algier, Drake London had a great game this past week. He's had a few good games stacked up in a row now, and Atlanta is doing well. They're traveling to Santa Clara, the 49ers, they're coming off a loss to Tampa Bay last week, and Baker Mayfield was great. And Baker Mayfield right now, we'll talk about him in the Monday Night Football preview, but he's the MVP frontrunner. He was playing that well. Mac Jones obviously was the quarterback last week. Kendrick Bourne has stacked up a few good performances in a row with Mac Jones now. Brock Purdy was limited in practice today. We'll see if he ends up playing. Either way, Mac Jones and Brock Purdy, I don't care. I'm taking the 49ers at home here. I like the better coach team. I know Fred Warner's done for the year. And that will hurt them in the long run. But I think this game at home in Santa Clara, they're going to get this win. I think if this keeps up, Kyle Shanahan will be up there right with Shane Steichen and Mike Vrabel for Coach of the Year. Um, Obviously, you see they lost Fred Warner likely for the year. They lost Nick Bosa for the year. They'll be in the market for a pass rusher at the trade deadline. A lot of people are mocking Trey Hendrickson's there. Kingsley Enagbare from the Green Bay Packers. A lot of people are mocking him there. Jalen Phillips from Miami Dolphins. It's another one. So I expect the 49ers to be in the market for a pass rusher during the trade deadline. But as for this game, I expect the 49ers to get it done and to go to 5-2 here at home versus the Atlanta Falcons. And then we have a great Monday Night Football doubleheader. Hopefully, I don't go 0-2 this time. The first game, around 7 o'clock Eastern, it is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Detroit Lions. The Buccaneers, they're 5-1 right now, looking like the best team in the National Football League. That's what most people are saying. I have no clue who they are, but that's what they're looking like right now. And they're dealing with a lot of injuries. Chris Godwin's missed a few games. Mike Evans is still not healthy. Emeka Ibuka, Offensive Rookie of the Year frontrunner, is expected to miss a few games. Jalen McMillan has still not played a snap all season. Bucky Irving is still out. I mean, they're dealing with injuries across the board. Baker Mayfield is playing well. They're taking on the Detroit Lions, who are hosting their blackout game, their yearly thing where they wear the black jerseys. Great. They're looking great on the football field, I'll tell you that. But they're 4-2 right now. They're coming off a loss Sunday Night Football versus the Kansas City Chiefs. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm confident in this one. I think this is a game Detroit gets. I don't expect Bucky Irving to play in this one. I don't expect Mike Evans to play in this one. I don't expect Chris Godwin to play. I don't expect Emeka Buko to play. Tampa Bay's banged up. And this is a game I think Tampa Bay fell into Detroit's trap at the worst time possible. Detroit's coming off a loss versus Kansas City. I expect them to get this one. I do. At home in the Motor City, it's a blackout game. They're gonna win this football game. This might be one of the more games I'm confident on this week. And it's crazy to say with how good Tampa Bay's playing right now, but I just I feel so good about the Detroit Lions this week. But hey, I felt the same way about the Philadelphia Eagles last week against the New York Giants, and look what happened. So we'll see what ends up happening there. I'm taking the Lions in the first game of the Monday Night Football doubleheader. And to wrap up the week at 10 o'clock Eastern, and this is likely the last Monday Night Football doubleheader of all time with the new NFL Network ESPN deal. So I'm glad about that, but the 10 o'clock kickoff sucks. It is the Houston Texans taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Houston Texans coming off a bye. Last time we saw them, they absolutely kicked the Baltimore Ravens into the ground. CJ Stroud had a good game. Jalen Noel had a good game. Jaden Higgins had a good game. Nico Collins had a good game. Texans played well. They're going to Lumen Field to take on the Seattle Seahawks, where Sam Darnold, I said it in the past few episodes, he's playing great. Gotta give him credit. Jackson Smith and Jigba is looking like one of the best players in the entire league right now with how he's playing. He's leading the league in receiving yards since Puka Nacua got hurt this past week. And Houston, this will be their third win in a row. If they can pick this one up, they're well rested. I think this will be a very close game, but I'm going to take the Seahawks right now. This could be one I change. I'm not going to lie. This could be one I change come Monday, depending on how my picks go, depending on how I feel. But right now, I'm taking the Seahawks. I mean, I got to use my brain and say they're looking like the better team right now. They are playing better. Um, the way JSN's playing, I'd like to see Kenneth Walker get going a little bit more, but Seattle's playing so good right now, man. I gotta take them here. I gotta take them to go 5-2, and I think they're gonna get the win here on Monday Night Football to wrap up the week. So that's the most likely when I switch. So I'll up to you guys next week on whatever happens there. But yeah, those are the picks this week. To recap: Cincinnati, Los Angeles, Chicago, Miami, Kansas City, Philadelphia, Carolina, Tennessee, Denver, Indianapolis, Green Bay, Dallas, San Francisco, Detroit, and Seattle. With my lock being Green Bay, actually, over Arizona. And my upset being Tennessee over New England. Probably a crazy pick to make, but that's just the direction we're going at this point on this channel. So yeah, those are the game picks for this week. Take a last look at it. I'm excited for the Bengals game tomorrow night. And now, let's take a quick look at the power rankings, then we'll sign off. And here are this week's power rankings. Crazy top two, considering where we were in week one. But number one right now, I have Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and what I just talked about with the Buccaneers and Lions. Crazy to feel that, or crazy to say that they're number one, based on how I feel about the Lions playing them this week. But Buccaneers, Colts at number two, they jump 5 spots. Rams, Chiefs jump 11 spots with the win over Detroit. Detroit drops to number five after previously being number one last week. Followed by Green Bay, Pittsburgh up 7 spots. They're 4-1. You can't justify keeping them out of the top 10. New England's playing great football right now. They're up 5 spots at number eight. Followed by Seattle, San Francisco, Atlanta goes up 8 spots. 2 wins in a row for them with the bye week in the middle. Jaguars -4. Bills go down 9. That's 2 losses in a row. Followed by Philadelphia. They go down 12 spots. 2 losses in a row for them. Followed by Chicago, Denver. They're down 5 spots in a win. I don't know if that's ever been done on this channel. Down 5 spots and a win on power rankings, but it was an ugly, ugly win for the Denver Broncos. Let me tell you that. Chargers, Commanders. I kind of want to switch that because the Commanders just beat the Chargers last week. Now that I look at that, because I didn't really like think that through. Whatever, we'll keep it for the video, but I kind of think of switching that now. Followed by Houston, Minnesota. They stay the same coming off the bye week. Carolina, Dallas goes down 5 spots. Carolina 1 spot above them with the head-to-head game they just had last week. Followed by New York, Arizona, New Orleans, Vegas, Cincinnati, Baltimore. Baltimore down 5 spots with the loss to LA. Miami, Cleveland, Tennessee, and the New York Jets rounded out at number 32, as they were last week. They'll probably be there until they get a win. So, yeah, if they get a win before Tennessee does, they will definitely jump Tennessee. But, yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. Today's picks, power rankings, week number 7. We are rolling through the NFL season at this point. Slow down, NFL. I say that every week at this time in the video when we're about to sign off, probably, but slow down for the love of God, NFL. I'm gonna miss you in March. I'm gonna miss you in April. Well, in March we have March Madness, so I'm pumped for that. But I'm gonna miss you, NFL, when it's gone. So week 7, I'll see you in Paycor Stadium tomorrow night. Go Bengals! If you guys did enjoy today's video, as always, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. We are trying to gain more subscribers here and turn on post notifications for more videos exactly like this one. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. Have a great night whenever you're watching this. Cool day. See y'all next week.